Restructure Nigeria, and let's go back to the arrangements that we had at independence. Let the states and the regions have sovereignty of their natural resources. Let them control education. Let them control development of infrastructure. Leave the power of external relations, external defense, immigration, customs to federal government.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Ojukwu News Channel. Today, we are talking about a very serious issue that is shaking the foundation of Nigeria's future. Former President-General of Ohanaeze President-General, Chief John Nnia Nwodo, has warned that Nigeria could break up before the 2027 general elections if urgent restructuring does not happen. Now, is this just another political statement? Or is Nigeria really heading for disintegration? In this video, we will break down the warning, explain what restructuring really means, why Nigeria is under pressure, and what could happen if nothing changes. Stay with me till the end, because this analysis could shape how we all see the road to 2027. The big warning. Let's start with the big news. Chief John Nnia Nwodo, a respected elder statesman and former leader of Ohanaeze President-General, said Nigeria's unity is at serious risk. According to him, the constitution we are operating is a unitary constitution disguised as federalism. He believes Abuja has too much power, while states and regions are left weak, unproductive, and dependent. He warned that if urgent restructuring does not happen, some regions might boycott the 2027 elections or reject its outcome, creating a constitutional crisis that could lead to disintegration. Now, this is not just Nwodo's view. Other elder statesmen like Emeka Anyoko, former Commonwealth Secretary-General, have also warned that Nigeria risks collapse if it continues with this kind of centralized system.
Structure Nigeria, and let's go back to the arrangements that we had at independence. Let the states and the regions have sovereignty of their natural resources. Let them control education. Let them control development of infrastructure. Leave the power of external relations, external defense, immigration, customs to federal government. And let the regions compete. And we will need the presidency of Nigeria in this country. We had the first iron and steel complex in the whole of Nigeria in the southeast. We developed it. We've built the first indigenous university in Nigeria, considering that University of Ibadan was a campus of the University of London. But we built the first indigenous university. We attracted world-class professors like Professor Glenn Taggart. Nsukka was booming. It had international reputation. We built the second brewery in the whole of Nigeria after Nigerian breweries for Golden Green. We built the first gas complex in Yemen. Look, my friend, when you're thinking 20 years ahead of your country, you're clearly leader. The election is only a formality. I'm saying in statecraft, in capacity to galvanize the economy and boost it. The Southeast is momentous. Peter Obi as governor of Anambra State. Sky rocketed Anambra State to the first state in education. Right now, Governor Obiano has done that. The Anambra State won the first place in school certificate examinations. We have capacity to help ourselves. We do not need the ladder. But the system has jaundiced us. And it is erected intentionally to jaundice us. And our self-determination urge does not allow us to continue to patronize the system, which deliberately is aimed at keeping us down.
Why Nigerians are angry. To understand why this warning matters, let's look at the reality of Nigeria today. Over 60% of Nigerians live in poverty, while the economy is shrinking. Insecurity is everywhere: Boko Haram and ISWAP in the northeast, bandits in the northwest, IPOB tension in the southeast, Hada-Farmer clashes in the middle belt, and oil theft in the Niger Delta. The federal government collects all the resources, especially oil revenue, and then shares it back to states through allocations. This system makes states lazy and dependent. For example, Lagos generates massive revenue but still depends on Abuja for survival. Meanwhile, oil-producing states like Rivers and Bayelsa complain that their resources are taken, while they are left underdeveloped. This imbalance has fueled agitations. IPOB is demanding Biafra. The Yoruba Nation movement is gaining momentum in the southwest. Niger Delta militants are threatening to shut down oil facilities if their region is neglected. So, the frustration is real, and that is why Nwodo's warning has weight. Now here's the interesting part. While people are calling for restructuring, the National Assembly has received 46 proposals for new states. Some of the names include Savannah State, Anyama State, Warri State, and many more. Over 100 new local government areas have also been proposed. But here's the catch: Nigeria already has 36 states, and most of them are broke. Many can't even pay salaries without federal allocation. So, is creating more states really the solution? Most analysts say no. Nigeria doesn't need more states, it needs true federalism. In other words, restructuring. Restructuring would mean states or regions controlling their resources. The federal government focusing only on national defense, foreign policy, and monetary policy. Each region developing at its own pace. This is how Nigeria was in the 1960s, when regions were strong and competitive. The West was strong in education and the North thrived in agriculture and granite pyramids. The East advanced in commerce and palm oil. Everyone developed at their own pace without waiting for Abuja.
And that restructuring is a major, maybe it ranks highest when you talk about priorities for the Southeast. So restructuring, yes, you've talked about having a Southeast
Indeed.
president also. That might help, but you think that restructuring is a big deal. But don't forget also, this restructuring is largely dependent on the political class. But just before we explore that, I mean, this structure, the class that you said have proven to be encumbrances to the Southeast, do they still exist? And what's the game plan?
Well, listen, you seem to keep avoiding the kernel points that I raise. To belong to a country like Nigeria, the history bears me out. It's got to be the free will of the federating unit. You don't, through a military junta, impose a constitution and force a style of government on the rest of the country. It will never endure. If it does not end in our generation, it will end in the generation of our children. And God forbid that it should move us to another civil war. I'm one of those who is opposed to anything that will bring down a breakdown of law and order in our country. And I am glad that a number of people in our country are beginning to come to terms with the reality that we have no choice other than to restructure our federation. Look, our country is failing. You know, we are in a terrible recession now. And that recession is bound to go on because the ingredients that will turn us around are structurally disadvantaged from taking possession of the driving seat of the economy. And so when we talk about restructuring, it is not a Southeast agenda. It is a condition precedent for the survival of this country. Look, my brother, look at a country like Rwanda. It used to be a beneficiary of the Nigerian Fund in the African Development Fund. It has the highest growth rate in Africa. It has a standard of living that is better than any in Africa. And yet, it was a country immersed in civil strife, ethnic differences, and the unprecedented murder of its citizens. My friend, look at a country like the European country that is the greatest exporter of food in the world today. Now, this country is 34,000 square kilometers. It is a small country in Europe. It exports $100 billion worth of food every year. And we have such food potential in Nigeria.
So what happens if Nigeria doesn't restructure? Nwodo says disintegration is possible. But let's think, what does breakup really mean? Some people imagine a peaceful separation like Czechoslovakia splitting into Czech Republic and Slovakia. But Nigeria has over 300 ethnic groups. If we split into, say, Biafra, Oduduwa Republic, and Arewa Republic, what stops smaller groups inside those regions from demanding their own nations? The Ijaw could say they don't want to be part of Igbo-dominated Biafra. The thief could reject being under Hausa Fulani Arewa. So, instead of solving problems, breakup could lead to more wars, border disputes, and bloodshed. That's why some Nigerians online say, breaking up Nigeria won't fix anything. We still need cooperation across ethnic lines. In short, breakup is not a magic solution. Right now, the National Assembly is reviewing the constitution. But the truth is, many Nigerians don't trust politicians in Abuja to give up power willingly. Civil society groups, youths, and regional leaders are now pushing harder for restructuring. The big test will be the 2027 general elections. If restructuring doesn't happen before then, we may see boycotts, protests, or even violence. But if leaders take action now, there's still hope to keep Nigeria united and stable. So, what do you think? Should Nigeria restructure to save its unity, or is breakup inevitable? Is the problem really Abuja holding too much power, or are our leaders at every level failing the people? Let's continue this conversation in the comments section. I really want to hear your thoughts. If you found this analysis helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with others, and don't forget to subscribe to Ojukwu News channel for more in-depth discussions on Nigeria's future. Until next time, stay informed, stay safe, and stay engaged.